Hi everyone, thanks for attending this session. One of the last of the Kotlin Conf. I believe you are a bit tired, but still of good of energy. We'll talk about Koin dependency injection, Kotlin Compiler. It's a lightning talk that I won't dive into the mechanism, no, don't worry. I'm Arnaud Giuliani, co-founder of Kotzilla. It's a French company for Kotlin dev tools. I'm also Koin project creator and GD. Kotzilla is a member of the Kotlin Foundation, and then we are helping around all the Kotlin ecosystem. I will give all the QR code with the slides at the end of the talk, then don't worry for the notes, and then I can go fast on all the slides I have to show you. Let's talk about this major milestone about Kotlin Compiler for Koin, and also just a status about Koin. Koin is a project that has been started 9 years ago, and is reaching 250 million downloads per year, and that's quite huge. And reaching also the last week 10K GitHub stars, then that's really cool. Thanks to all the ecosystem. And I usually read that Koin is a small framework for small applications, but you have a few examples here about the small apps in the world that are using Koin. Then Koin is really, from the beginning, focused on the developer experience thanks to the Kotlin language and try to deliver around many ecosystems. And yeah, we heard about many things about the testing part and the safety, and we know that compile safety is really a hard part. And yeah, we heard your feedback, and here we are. And today we are releasing the Koin Compiler plugin 1.0. That's really a great milestone, and a few months of work to be there to deliver this all those features. Quickly, then, for those who don't know how the compiler plugin are described, in just a section here in versions, Koin plugin, and then you can add it in any project that is using Koin. You won't have to choose in between something that is fun, simple, help you deliver your architecture, and have all the power for the compile safety and many safety features that are available in the other solution. If we take, for example, a small example like my database, my repository, we want to wire them. This is the Koin DSL that is quite the manual way to do, like the old way, right? We tried also the Koin DSL in the auto-wire DSL form that was kind of a hack about Koin function stuff, but was not flexible and didn't allow any safety around that. And today, we came to something that is completely compact and allow safety and fun description as a DSL for your UI. Here we are. Then let's talk about how we make the DSL experience in Koin safer and then for your application. You see that we have now this reified aspect of the DSL that have all the main keywords, single, factory, view model, worker, and you just give the class of what you would like to declare, and that's it. The Kotlin compiler will look at your class and then instrument everything behind. On the constructor part, then we will look at all the parameters that we have, and look at any lazy, new label, list, and then make the wiring for you. Then behind just this simple keyword, we make all the burdens to make all the gets, the famous or infamous gets, and everything for you behind. One other thing, and part of the DSL is, for example, qualifiers. Qualifiers, it's one of the hard part of the DSL because the DSL is just runtime. Then it's really hard to intercept and make something really safe around that. And following some of the study with Ktor DI and other new DI that are coming around the ecosystem, if we want something that is in the DSL part, we need, for the qualifier, we need a static description, then you need annotation. Then we have just named, if you remember, for the DSL, but @name is just a small annotation that you add to your definition, and then you can declare your components and you're done. For the dynamic parameter, it will be the same aspect. @injected param is required if you want to delimit this parameter as being injected later. And then we know on the Kotlin compiler stage that it will be injected in another way than just wiring with the DI. You have scope with all the DSL form and this reified aspect. If you have functions, because the problem of the DSL and Lambda is that you can have kilometers of description and Kotlin code inside, and it's really difficult for us to help you inside that to ensure that you are making something safe. Then if you want to have functions, then we can help you with something called create, and you can create a function builder that ensures that the function that you are running is safe and wired completely in the Koin container. If you need options, then you can add bindings. You can create at start, for example, with the singleton, and that's it. You can just run start Koin, and then you're done. And all your DSL and your new DSL form is completely safe and is generating all the burden for you. As a wrap-up, then you have this compact DSL function builder that is now safe, and two annotations just to have for the qualifier and for the dynamic parameter. For those who would like to make annotation with Koin, we have Koin annotation, and now we can make the processing not on KSP, but on Kotlin Compiler part. The idea of Koin annotation is to have a super simple annotation flow and keep the simplicity of Koin with the annotation flow. Just annotate classes, like singleton, factory, and behind that, we can automatically detect any binding for you. You don't have to explicitly try to optimize this or this type, then we can explore completely the definition for you and be ready. The same on the constructor side, we will be able to detect all the capacity of your constructor and wire the get or null, and etc. On the annotation, you need module and you don't use DSL. For that, you need a class that is tagged with @module. And you need to say also, a bit like in Spring Framework, say component scan for this package for all the annotated class around. This component scan is also working not only for classes, but with functions that are either top level, either in your module class. Then you can put your functions where you want, and then wire this as a dependency injection function. Annotations are also compatible with the GSR 330, and then, for example, if you are using all the Jakarta inject and so on, if you have a code base that is using those annotations, Koin can work with that. You have annotations, like for the Android part, but also view model scope is a scope that is KMP view model compatible. One of the parts of Koin annotation, and especially with this new approach of the Koin Compiler plugin, is that we can allow you to make some configuration discovery. That means that you can tag modules, associate them as a configuration, and then we will scan them across modules and rediscover where your modules are and then and load them by label. Then, for example, you can have default, test, etc. If you want to load a set of modules associated to a configuration, you just have @Koin application that scan those modules by this configuration, and then you're done. You don't have to wire your module by hand. We discover them, wire all them, include them, and then you're done. But for you, it's mostly discovery and annotation processing. From the documentation, then you will find several ways to start Koin with this new annotation processing and the Kotlin compiler side. On Android, for example, you just annotate your application class and then just use start Koin as the reify type way. On Compose multi-platform part, then you can use Koin configuration with the reify type, and it will load your Koin configuration the same way. Annotation flow, classes, functions, modules, then quite easy. Component scan to scan across package. You have a few parameters that you already know. For qualifiers, you can use type qualifiers also. Configuration discovery with @configuration and Koin application to bootstrap that, and just use start Koin. Now, the power of the Kotlin compiler style is that once we have collected all your classes, all your definitions, all your modules, from the DSL to annotations, then we can verify that your graph is valid. And the idea is that we spot any missing parts in your application, and we try to display a simple message to help you. Then we look at modules. That means that in every module, at the full graph part, when you are in the main module, when you are starting your Koin application, we can look at all the full graph and then look at all the links to your definition. Call site mean like when I use by inject or by view model, it will be validated and you won't have any problem calling something that it doesn't exist. And all the dynamic behavior of Koin is backed by this Kotlin compiler part. Then, for example, is here Android Studio or IntelliJ with an error when something is missing as an annotation or even as a DSL. Then you have really the class, the parameter that is looking for something that is missing. And here, for example, on the call site, when you have something that is called by view model here, you have exactly the line and what type is missing for this expression. And of course, the dynamic parameter validation. If you miss something to pass in the parameters of when you are passing parameters, then it will be shown directly. You have a bunch of options, also the capacity for you to disable the compile safety if you are migrating step by step. Then we are running Koin, the container that is available since a long time ago and is KMP ready since 2018 and 19. And the plugin just wire and validate. We just have a few things to generate. It's super small, and Koin is super performant and optimized since a while now, and then it requires just a few nanoseconds to be selected, requiring the time budget, for example, on the mobile side that you have at 60 FPS. And as we need to generate on KMP, we don't have a lot to generate because we generate wiring on Koin API that is already existing. Then less to generate, less to break. And it's the same entry point for all the platform. You can easily migrate from the old DSL to the new DSL compiler, and you are not forced to do that. You can do at the speed of at the way you want. Also look at all the annotation that you need at constructor. For those who are using Koin annotation with KSP, then you can just remove KSP. At the compiler, keep your annotation. Don't use the previous KSP extension generated, and just use start Koin. That's it. You can use, if you are using other DI and you would like to use or test Koin, you can do that and use any compatible GSR annotation. You can bridge Koin with any existent DI solution. And you can do that step by step if you want to migrate or test on a few features. We advise migration as a progressive, step-by-step way, and don't try to go big bang because then you will be in a tunnel and then you won't be able to redeliver. Then the best way for you is really to collocate Koin and any other DI solution that you have. I'm coming to the end of this talk and providing a few resources links. Then we'd like to thank all the communities around, like 200 contributors to the project. And even at this AI era, it's even more important to have your feedback and that you raise even issues. And thanks all. You have the regular channels for the project, insertcoin.io. Then Koin 4.2 is out, and you have now the Koin Compiler plugin at 1.0, and you have a few links for the documentation. What we have done also is a few AI assistants that will help you first to migrate. For example, if you are in KSP or old Koin DSL, then you can use Koin migration to help you migrate automatically with your favorite coding agent. Or if you are using any other DI like Dagger 2, Hilt, or so on, and would like to go to multi-platform, then you have a full assistant that will help you have a clear plan that is really locating and decoupling completely all your architecture step by step and proposing a clear plan to start with the first point. And we have also an MCP server that helps you debug step by step any kind of exception with case with Koin that you would like to have. You can ask directly, put your exception, etc. Then you will have this assistance to help on the debug. We have a few applications that are available if you want to test and try and see on big example. Then you have the Google example now in Android that is turned with Koin here on this on the insertcoin.io GitHub repository. You have also the Kotlin Conf 26 version of the app with Koin in the same repository, but at this address. And you have all the official documentation of Koin on insertcoin.io and blog if you want to keep updated with the latest news. And for those who are looking for architecture, observability, performance, platform, and AI remediation, this is what we are doing at Codezilla. Then you can test freely with what we are doing. Then we are looking at architecture, performance over that. This is time for the QR code for those who would like to just capture it. Else, I believe JetBrains will deliver the slides online, but you have all the resources. And I'm perfectly on time. Thank you. Don't forget to vote.